This lesson is going to cover general things we do in our lives that reveal sensitive information that we might not normally think about. I can't cover every possibility, but I'm going to give you a lot of different scenarios and tips that will teach you the mindset required to change your lifestyle. Hello there, and thanks for watching Go Incognito. This course is entirely free, and one of the ways we can do that is through our many supporters who believe in our mission in spreading privacy and security to the masses. If you enjoy our work and want to help our cause, we have perks for supporters on Patreon and YouTube, and we recently introduced one-time donations through Ko-fi and PayPal. The latter needs no account on your end. We also accept Monero for those wanting to donate with the utmost privacy in mind. Thank you to all our current supporters, thanks to all of our future supporters, and thank you for watching the free course. Enjoy the rest of the lesson. Let's start with your home. Make sure your most sensitive valuables like wallets, passports, and electronics are in a room that isn't easily accessible from outside, keeping the most sensitive items in a safe. Not just any safe, a good one. Make sure your data is encrypted, and make sure to keep backup drives with your data inside of your safe. I'd also recommend enabling encryption on those drives. Always keep an off-site backup in case something happens. You should consider investing in a security solution to fend off thieves. They can be bypassed, but it's mostly to discourage potential burglars. I'd also recommend security cameras, especially in rooms with sensitive items. You can set up your own video storage locally to avoid companies requiring a monthly subscription. I hope this is a given, but get rid of your smart devices. They are doing nothing but listening to everything you do. Alexa even recorded and sent a private conversation to a person's contact. Go ahead and read the privacy policy for your smart devices if you need more convincing. To finish off home tips, never, and I mean never, open a door for anybody unless it's an unexpected visitor or a trusted family member or friend. If it's a stranger and it's urgent, they'll make sure to contact you beforehand. Or leave a method of contact for a second chance. I can't stress enough how important this is. Thieves are known to dress up as an unsuspecting person to scope out the house and people inside of it. If it looks like a good target, they'll come back later to rob the home. We've already talked about minimizing the amount of personal information your car reveals in the previous lesson, so make sure to implement those tips. To add on to that, never leave electronics or other sensitive items in your car, especially visibly. Make sure not to carry your social security number, social security card, or anything else particularly sensitive in your wallet. If you're going to a protest or rally, be aware that law enforcement is known to use a tool called a stingray. This allows law enforcement to identify people at rallies by capturing their phone traffic. If you're going to these events, it's advised to leave your phone on airplane mode. Even if you follow every tip throughout this course, it's extremely difficult to make yourself private in public, especially with the rise in facial recognition technology. If interested, there is a pair of eyeglasses for $240 that are supposed to throw off facial recognition tech, and masks are currently a decent prevention method, especially during COVID. Alright, so that covers tips for your home and your travels, but there are a few more tips for the real world you should know about. Shred anything with sensitive information. Anything with your name, address, or other identifiable information should be shredded. This includes receipts. Don't forget you can opt out of junk mail on the FTC website. When sending sensitive letters, use banker's envelopes, double up on the tape everywhere, and dab some super glue on the envelope to avoid tampering. Try to disguise the nature of the letter. And if your threat model is even more extreme, you can use a felt-tipped pen or fountain pen to address letters. This way, if chemicals are used to tamper with the letter, it will make the ink run. You can also wrap letters in carbon paper to make the carbon run. Some people even wrap letters in aluminum foil, so if chemicals make the envelope transparent, the snooper still can't view the letter. That wraps up some real-world examples, but what about the digital world? First, never post publicly that you're traveling. There is nothing better for a criminal than alerting them that your house is deserted for 2 weeks. Take pictures of your vacation while you're there and post them once you're back home. Speaking of traveling, never constantly share your location. This increases the odds of stalking and tracking from people who may or may not have your best interest. Ensure Find My Friends is disabled, Snapchat's location tracking, as well as any other similar forms of these services. While you're at it, I'd advise disabling traces of personal data on social media, or just deleting it altogether. If you want to balance, never post pictures of yourself, and if you do, obfuscate the triangle formation made by your eyes and mouth, since this is how our brains are able to quickly distinguish faces, as well as lots of facial recognition and AI. If you have kids, family, or friends, make sure to educate them as well. It's very important for them to understand why they should or shouldn't do certain things, especially when they're around you, and why they should implement certain things into their lives as well. I hope this lesson was a big wake-up call, or at least made you rethink some of the things you do every day. There are many more tips and tricks out there, but the most important thing you need is the mindset, which is what this lesson was about. I'll see you in the next lesson discussing some of the out-of-the-box services and products that you can buy that honor your privacy and security out of the box.